If you're looking for a free course in Italian wine, you've come to the right place. Tony Marchiotta here. This is part 3 of a multi-series of Italian wine videos, all covering a different topic so you can master Italian wine in small and easy chunks. In this video, you're going to learn why Italy's 20 wine-producing regions are a crucial first step in mastering Italian wines. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell button below so you don't miss out on the next videos of this Italian wine course. So what's this? This is the Pentagon of wine graph that I created. If you saw part 1 and part 2, I had introduced that in earlier videos. These are the only 5 things you should be thinking about when you're learning something new about Italian wine, or when you're shopping for Italian wine, or when you're, most importantly, drinking Italian wine. Location is a crucial factor. You might remember in the last video, we said that geography and climate are part of the location angle. Now we're going to zoom in a little bit closer on this concept of location being an important factor and take a look at why Italy's 20 regions are important. So here's a map of the 20 regions of Italy. Notice how the mainland is shaped like a tall boot. It's got the main body of the boot, has a high heel, it's got a long toe. Italy is broken down into 20 regions, and you can think of them as 20 states, but we call them regions. 2 of the regions happen to be very large islands. That's Sicily and Sardegna, and there are dozens of little tiny islands all around the peninsula that are part of these 20 regions. Well, the first real meaningful step in mastering Italian wines is you've got to learn these 20 wine regions. You don't have to learn them all at the same time, but you want to slowly familiarize yourself with them. In the description below, you'll see a list of all these regions, and I even have another video where you can learn how to pronounce all the regions of Italy in Italian. So I'm just going to read them off to you very quickly, and then we'll get into some more details in a little bit. But basically, if we start in the north here, it says Aosta Valley. In Italian, it's Valle d'Aosta. It's Italy's smallest region. Right beneath it, you have Piemonte, very famous. Then you have Lombardia. You have Trentino, Alto Adige. Then there's Veneto, Friuli, Venezia, Giulia. Then if you come back over here, this green area on the coastline, this is Liguria. Then you have Emilia Romagna, which is a big region. Tuscany, another big region, or Toscana in Italian. Then you have Marche, Umbria, Lazio, which is where the capital Rome rests. Then you have Abruzzo, Molise, Puglia. Some people call it Puglia, but Puglia is the Italian way. Then there's Basilicata, Campania, Calabria, Sicilia, or Sicily in English, and then you have Sardegna, or Sardinia in English as well. And that's your 20 regions. So each region, has its own unique sets of wines, and they're unique from one to the next for 2 reasons: native grapes and subregions. Each region cultivates its own native grape varietals that have their own unique characteristics, and the wines are made in different subregions within each region. Some regions have just a few subregions, and other regions have dozens of subregions. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in a second. These are just smaller territories inside each region that produce distinct wines. Every new region that you want to learn, you should look at these 2 things. What native grape varietals do they have, and what are the names of their subregions? If you haven't checked out my Italian wine regions playlist, you got to go over there, because I basically made a short 10-minute crash course for each of Italy's 20 wine producing regions. It's an awesome playlist. Go check it out. If you want to practice pronouncing the regions, I also have another video. Just go to my channel at Gladiator Wine TV, and I actually go very slowly through a short video on how to pronounce Italy's 20 regions. just to get a little bit more Italian. Okay, I just want to give you here some examples of what I'm talking about. There's going to be another more in-depth video about what exactly native grape varietals are, but suffice it to say, these are local grapes that are very popular, that are grown at very high levels within each region. So for example, there's a grape called Sangiovese, which is the most important grape in the region of Tuscany. Now you can find Sangiovese in other regions, but Tuscany is sort of the king producer of Sangiovese grapes. Then in Sicily, Nero d'Avola, for example, is a red grape varietal that grows all over Sicily. It's very, very popular in Sicily. And then you have Nebbiolo, which is predominantly found in Piemonte. That's what the famous Barolo and Barbaresco wines are made of. Then on the island of Sardinia, there's the grape called 𝐤𝐤𝐤, which is found all over the region. It's the most popular red wine, most popular red grape. And then you have Primitivo from Puglia. Let me give you some examples of what I'm talking about with subregions. This is a little bit more complicated, and there will be more videos going into this more in depth. But basically, each region has its own subregions, right? So a subregion is a piece of land that's inside of a larger region. And as you can see here, this is the region of Marche, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sub-regions listed here, okay? And as you can see, these are tinier areas of land where very specific types of wines can be made from a legal standpoint, actually, okay? This is Marche is more of a simple region when it comes to sub-regions, but take a look at Piemonte, for example. Lots of sub-regions in Piemonte. Much more of a complicated region to learn from a sub-region standpoint, but don't let this overwhelm you. If you go and watch my crash courses in each Italian wine region, I break these down and I show you exactly what you need to learn quickly. You'll get the most bang for your time invested. So I just wanted to illustrate here that some regions are more complicated than others. That's all. The 5 steps to mastering these Italian wine regions is listed right here. Basically, it's not too hard to sit and memorize 20 names, not too bad. Then you pick a region, you pick one, whichever one's interesting to you, whether it's Sicily or Tuscany or Piemonte, something, or Campania, and then you memorize some of the native grapes that are grown in that region. And then you start buying wines and drinking wines, which is the best part about the whole thing. And then step 5, pick another region, rinse and repeat. You pick another region, you look up what the native grape varietals are, and you start buying some wines that are made with those grape varietals, or you want to start exploring the subregions and you look for wines that are coming from specific subregions in the region, and you can explore wines that way. It's limitless, and it's very, very enriching to do so. So when it comes to thinking about how location impacts Italian wine, the 20 regions of Italy all have their own unique wines, and that uniqueness comes from the region itself. Unique grapes, unique landscapes, and stylistic preferences of the producers. Tuscan wines, for example, are very different from Sicilian wines, just generally speaking. And Piemonte wines are very, very different from Sardinia wines, just from a general standpoint. So it's fun to explore the different regional wines of Italy. It's very, very enriching. It's one of my favorite things to do. So once again, I'm going to show you this regional map of Italy here. The key is to pick a region, pick any region that's of interest to you, memorize its name, its native grapes, and its subregions, and then go and taste as many wines as you can from that region until you feel like you've got some sense of what the common characteristics are found in those regional wines. So in the next video, we're going to zoom in even closer. We started off looking at Italy in the beginning as a whole with geography and climate from a bigger picture standpoint, right? Just looking at the country as a whole. Then in this video, we looked at the 20 regions of Italy in this video. And now in the next video, we're going to start looking at the sub-regions, and I'm going to share with you my little secrets as to exactly what those are and why they're important to mastering Italian wine. So until next time, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next videos about Italian wine, much more. Look out for part 4 of this Italian wine course where we go in depth about what the sub-regions are, and I'll see you in the next video.